Well, it's John Black, Super Chemist. I think this is part 11 on my deep state. What is the deep state? And I was talking about the chick that, says on YouTube that she was kidnapped by Diddy and made a sex slave, and they got all these satanic rituals, and they got tunnels under the house, and everyone thinks she was crazy for the last decade. She's been saying it or however long. And now they arrest Diddy. They find out there's GHB and all the baby oil, and there are drugs in the liquor and blah blah blah. Just for the women though, that he's doing all this, and they find out that there was tunnels under the. It sounded crazy, right? 5 years ago, but now all of a sudden there's tunnels between Hefner, Playboy guy Hefner, and Diddy's house. There's tunnels, and there's tunnels going to other houses in the neighborhood. Like, what? Now all of a sudden, no, maybe it does sound, And this thing about this cabal, this has been said for decades. This has been said since Hollywood existed almost, that this is going on. So it's not like some new whatever. Usually there's a tiny kernel of truth even in the weirdest of conspiracies, you know what I mean? Now all of a sudden, and that leads me to the MK Ultra. It leads me to believe that maybe they did figure out how to brainwash somebody, okay? And I didn't think that at first until, then I find out that Lee Harvey Oswald, who killed JFK, was related to the Bushes and Lyndon Johnson, vice president who became president after JFK was killed. The same way with Reagan. George Bush was related to George Bush because he's George Bush. And then John Hinckley was related to George Bush. And then John Hinckley shoots Reagan. If he would have succeeded, George Bush would have just slid into the presidency. Now I'm thinking the MK Ultra. And then I find out that Charlie Manson, they FOIA requested, things from the FBI. That was actually a deep state, operation. Those 3 girls going to Hollywood and killing the Tate family and that. That was actual a government op. And if you've seen them 3 girls, okay, if you back in the 60s, if you remember, oh man, them 3 chicks, they were literally crazy. They were they were brainwashed. It was like from The Shining. Remember the 2 little twin girls singing the song or whatever, and you were like creeped out. That's what they were like. They were creeped out. They were literally you could tell. I mean, it was like, it was crazy, man. Then now I start thinking MK Ultra. You got these 3 brainwashed chicks killing, Charles Manson girls. You got that. You can tell they're brainwashed. Jeez, they were wow. Then you find out Charlie Manson was part of the MK Ultra and part of the FBI. Confidential informant or whatever you call them, an asset. And then you find out all the people that shot all the presidents were related, and it's like, come on, man. Then I start thinking. Then you think about this. These people at these Diddy parties that they don't even remember what happened. They don't know whatever, and they're doing these things, that they probably don't even know that they did. I bet you $1 million, half of the kids getting molested, the people molesting them don't even realize they're so out of their mind and so brainwashed that they don't even know what they're doing at that point. And then they don't remember because the drugs take their memory away, at least their conscious memory. Obviously not their subconscious memory. Their subconscious memory is probably put in there even more. And if they use drugs in combination with their brainwashing, oh my God. I think I could figure out how to brainwash, make a Manchurian candidate myself. If you give me enough, you give me $1 billion, and you give me, give me a year. I bet you, and I can do whatever I want to people. I can torture them and whatever. I can make some Manchurian candidates. I bet you $1 million. But You know, and they say these. So, like I said, I think they have the rituals in Hollywood about the Satanist. You know, these things, and they might even, some of them might even be cannibals. You know, but I don't think that. I think they do it just to do it. Like, you know what I mean? To say, look, I can even eat people. No, no, no. And if anyone catches me, oh, sounds so crazy they can't even tell. You know, I don't know. It's a combination, probably, all these things. Bloodletting. I don't know what bloodletting is, but that's what I'm calling this procedure. You know, when you have babies, they have something special in their blood. I'm going to call them platelets. I don't know what they are, though. But there's something in their blood that fights, you know, it rejuvenates, it fights stuff. It makes them very strong, because when you have a baby, he's very weak, right? So this stuff in the blood helps them, right? But once the baby gets like 6 months, a year old or whatever, it has less and less of these platelets, or whatever they're called, in the blood, right? And this is a fact, okay? And you can take baby's blood and intravenously put it into your blood and get those platelets, right? And that will help stop aging. I mean, it's not going to stop aging. I'm just saying it's going to help you. If you do it all the time, yeah, you're going to live a lot longer than if you didn't do it. That's a fact, okay? And it's funny how some of these people, like in Hollywood and these presidents, they live to be 100 years old. Like Jimmy Carter, what is he, 99? How is that? George Soros is like 93. They're all like 100 years old, man. Not all of them, but a lot of people that are 100 years old, it seems like they're all the deep state. But yeah, do they do that? I think they're probably at least even a subculture within the cabal, right, which is a tentacle of the deep state. There's got to be at least a small fraction of them that are cannibals and that do this bloodletting that I'm saying, where they take the baby's blood. They do human sacrifices. You know, do they believe in it? No, they don't believe in it. It's not about believing in Satan and that. It's about giving a finger to everyone, saying that no one is above me. That's what it's about. You know what I mean? These satanic things, the cannibalism. It's not about being evil or being whatever. It's about, hey, I have no allegiance to anyone except the deep state. You know what I mean? And then you take into account, like, 325 kids went missing that are illegal aliens, right? Where are these kids? And after Diddy, right? Where did they go? I doubt that there's 325 individual people who took these kids. You know, each one took a kid. No. They were transported by the cabal. And see, they brought back slavery, is what it is. You know what I mean? How do they bring back slavery? They open the borders, let the children come. Then you take all the children and you round them up and sell them. You give them to the cabal. Then they can have their human sacrifices. They can have their slaves, and they can have their sex slaves. I mean, they say Rihanna, all these rappers like Rihanna. Rihanna says that she's basically was sold for $1 million or $500,000. She's from a third world country or something, right? Or some other country. When she was 14 or 13, she came over with Diddy. Her dad's bank account went up by $500,000 or $1 million. And then she stayed in America and never seen her family ever again and became a pop star. And that's just one of many, 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 many stories about these rap people or these hip hop, Diddy's people. They all seem like all the women seem like they've been bought. Some of them from other countries. Just like Madonna and her kids. Madonna says that she adopted her kids and saved them from Africa or wherever she got them from, right? Yeah, funny how the parents, though, in Africa think, they say that she stole their kids. That's what they say. But they're in Africa and they make $1 a day probably. So what are they going to do against Madonna in another country who has billions? And you notice all these, did you notice the last 20, 30 years or whatever, all these Hollywood people, they got all these foreign kids adopted. Really? I mean, I didn't think nothing of it until all this, but are they really adopted or are they just sex slaves? Are they just sex slaves that they pretend, they parade around as their children? Look at how I'm a good person. I saved my sex slave from poverty in Africa. All of them getting all these foreign babies. Like, really? Just, I don't know. I'm not saying that's whatever, but it just seems like it is. It seems like it is. And the reason why, when I get into my video about the plan, the 100-year plan for them, see, they want people in power to be a pedophile. They want them to be perverted in some way. And that's why they go with the gays and the trans and the whatever. I'm not saying those people are perverted. I'm just saying that once they get that, it's all about blackmail, you know what I mean? And if they can get you at a Diddy party and get you on GHB, and then you're gay, and then you get tricked, you don't even know it, and you're having sex with kids. Now they show you the tape of the kids, and they say, oh, and you're gay too. This ain't gonna look good. It's just a way to control. I lost my train of thought on what I was saying. I only have like 3 more minutes left. But yeah, all these things make me think, like, wow. And then we get into this next tentacle, which I'll get into the next video, is that these people, the Hinckleys, remember this all goes back to Samuel Hinckley. The Hinckleys, if you just follow the Hinckley line, not the Bush line or the Obama line or this line or the Roosevelts, but you just follow the Hinckleys, the people that have the last name Hinckley. They're infested in religion. And what are they infested in religion in? The Mormons, the Latter-day Saints. They created it. They run it. They're the president of it. They have everything to do with making rules and things that, the policies that the Mormons should do. They were the ones who moved to Utah. They were the ones who bought up all the land where all the Utah Mormons are. They're the ones who are brainwashing people. They're the ones who are the pedophiles. They got 30, 40-year, 50-year-old people having 10 wives, and they're all like 8 years old. Yeah, they're related to the Bushes. That whole thing in Utah, the whole Mormon thing, the royals. They're all royals. And I want you to think about it. They're all incestuous in Utah with this thing, right? They're all marrying inside each other. So like the other tentacles, you just have the top people or the royals. When it comes to Utah, when it comes to the Mormon church, those people are all royals, really. Do they have power like the upper? No, they're just people. They're just pieces of crap, really. They don't have no power, nothing, Not everybody in the royal family. It's not like they're all connected. You got the elites up at the very top. They keep track of everyone that's related. And if someone that's insane that they can use and brainwash to shoot a president, they'll intervene. If they find someone that's got a good speaking voice and they can they're real personable and they can go good in politics, be the president, they'll intervene and they'll come in. Those people didn't know that they were royals. You know what I mean? They're just some poor schlub thinking that they ain't nobody. Well, the deep state that's within the deep state is keeping track of their whole family. And they noticed. They were like, wow, this guy has potential. Let's zoom in, right? We'll zoom in and we'll make him president, right? And then we'll bring him into the deep state and then he'll know. But by the time we bring him in, he'll be so corrupt. He'll just be part of the deep state after that.